Morning everyone, welcome back to plot number 13. It's Friday the 11th, 10 in the morning. It's an absolutely glorious morning as well. I think it's going to be the last one for the week, next week or so. It's meant to be pretty rubbish weather, rainy, windy, so we're back to normal kind of conditions. So I thought I'll come down here and get a few bits done.
Rain keeps falling, never feel the same. Heartbeats calling, every drop's a game.
My main aim today, I'm going to be planting out risky stuff, not going to lie, things like geraniums, some cosmos, parsnips, but that's not as risky, that's fine, and then some cornflower and some Candytuft flowers as well. I'm not going to do all of them, I'm going to do them in stages, but I just want to see what I can get away with at the moment. So first of all, I'm going to plant out my geraniums, and I'm going to do them with the leeks because apparently they are good companions. So these are my little tiny leeks. They seem to be going really well. They look actually quite small on the camera, but in real life they are definitely thickening up, looking great. So there's a row down there, so I'm thinking I might put the geraniums kind of in this section here. I've got loads of geraniums, so I'm not particularly worried if they do succumb to any kind of frost or cold weather, and they're so easy to propagate. You literally snap a piece off, stick it in the ground and it'll root. So yeah, that's another one that I'm not too bothered about losing. Okay, so let me just grab them and we'll get them in the ground. So these geraniums have been overwintered at home. I've just kept them in my little glass house in the back garden, and they've been really good, to be fair, but they're in desperate need of being either potted on or planted out. So I thought, let's have a go and get them in the ground. I'll keep a few at home as well. And what I'm going to do is put a little handful of those water granule crystals in the hole as well. This stuff, I'm going to put just a little sprinkle in the hole because this top layer is so dry and it dries out so quickly that I'm having to come down and water until the seedlings take root. So literally just a pinch in the bottom, because it says on here they'll hold up to like 80 times their own weight in water. So a little pinch in the hole just to make sure that there's enough moisture in the ground. I think for big things like this that have been potted on will be fine, but I'm definitely going to use it for my seedlings. I don't even know why I didn't think about that before, to be fair. Especially thirsty ones like cauliflowers and stuff like that. There we go, so there's one. So I'm just going to carry on and I'll show you what it looks like. There we go. So there's a little row of geraniums, little tester geraniums. See how well they do down the plot. Alrighty, I'm going to get onto my parsnips now. So these ones, I used half a pack of parsnip seeds and I chitted them. So what you do is you lie them on some wet toilet paper, then you, in a tub, put the lid on and keep them in a warm place, and then check them every day. And as the tiny little white root comes out of it, you grab it out with tweezers or your fingers or whatever, pop it into a toilet roll tube and then cover it with your compost as normal. What you don't want is what I've got here. I'll cut to a close-up shot. That's the taproot coming out the bottom there. Now this parsnip will probably be a forked one because the taproot started to bend or whatever, so that's not what we want. What we want is one that's gone in the tube, got its leaves up, but there's nothing on the bottom there, because when you put it in the ground it'll just carry on growing straight down. So that's what I found doing parsnips. Chitting is the best way to start parsnips off, because I've literally got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that have got the leaves through, and these have been chitted out of half a pack, which was kind of like 50 seeds. So the germination rate's really poor, but this way you can kind of guarantee that you're going to be putting one where you need it, rather than them having all bunched into the row, like 15 in one clump and then a gap and then 15 elsewhere. Do you know what I mean? So that's the best way to do it. That's my advice. Parsnips, you don't want to be growing them next to carrots either. So put them next to something else like your leeks, your garlic, your onions. I'm going to do mine next to my peas as well. You can do them next to peas because they have the same pests as carrots. So you don't want to really be putting them next to, and you don't want to be putting them next to dill either because they're kind of like the same pest and family. So I'm going to put a row down this section here, I think. I've not got loads of parsnips because I'm not a massive fan, to be fair, but it's always nice to have the odd one on your Sunday dins. So I'm going to place mine in a row here, and then I'll put a little bit of netting over just to keep the carrot root fly off the parsnips as well. So let me crack on with that and I'll show you what I do. Actually, instead of putting them in this gap here, I'm going to fill up that little gap there, to be fair. I think that would be better. And it's still with the peas. Be a lot easier to net as well.
Splashing through the alleys, laughing all the way. Raindrops on our faces, chasing clouds away. Evenings turning darker, lights begin to glow. Raindrop melody, a song we'll always know. Rain keeps falling, never feel the same. Heartbeats calling, every drop's a game. Umbrellas in the distance, colored like a dream. Walking through the puddles, we're a perfect team.
My phone gave up the ghost then and refused to work due to being overheated. All I have done now is put the netting over the top and planted out the other, made a few more holes and planted out the other ones. I'll give them a drink now, and that's pretty much all I'm willing to invest into parsnips this year. Like I say, I'm not a massive fan, so that'll do. Let me show you. Tiny little row, well, a couple of little rows, parsnips in there with the toilet roll method. Next on my planting out list is going to be some dill. I've got another tub like this at home, so if it dies then that's fine. And dill is really quick to grow anyway, so I'll probably sow a bit more. Dill likes to go with cauliflowers, so I'm sure somewhere in this bed there is a cauliflower because I mixed up the cauliflowers and the cabbages. So I'm just going to put a bit of dill in under the netting and let them live together forever. Just give them a little water in. So the cabbage on the left here was covered in this netting, which is like a shady netting, and then this side was just covered in black netting, which is suitable to keep butterflies off. So the left hand side one, where they've been more shady, have definitely outgrown the other ones. So I think I might grow brassicas under the shady netting going forward, especially as summer comes and the ground's so dry, hot. They're definitely cooler loving climates. Interesting. Okay, now so I'm going to go and plant out some of this Candytuft. I'm going to prick it out and put it straight in the ground. You're probably not supposed to do that, but I don't care. And Candytuft is quite low growing to the ground, I think. So I'm thinking, come with me, let me show you. Thinking if we put a little row across here, maybe like a little border, see how many I've got. I know they're susceptible to slug damage, but I'd rather the slugs come and eat the Candytuft than come onto the plot anyway. So I'm going to try that and see what it looks like. Down this side I've done some pot marigolds. This is 3 lots of the red midget that I planted out a couple of weeks ago. I just wanted to see if that would survive the cold, and it looks like it's okay so far. What one? I forgot what this one is. I think, is this Candytuft? Is this Candytuft but older? I can't remember. I think that might be Candytuft as well. So maybe I could do little clumps of it throughout rather than a row. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to do. Let me have a think. Okay, so I've had a think, and I'm going to do random spots throughout the wood chip area rather than try and be neat and tidy with the flowers, because they're never going to grow neat and tidy, are they? So I'm going to do some splodges all around the wood chip area of Candytuft now. Okay, what I'm doing is just some random little holes And then I'll put a little bit of the water gel crystal things in, and then just prick out clumps straight into the ground and see how they get on. Gel crystals, little pinch in each. I think with this area, the only thing I want to do is just be able to walk through it every now and again. So I need to kind of think about pathways through it and stuff, but apart from that, it's going to be a bit of a wilder area, so I think that's why I've opted for random planting rather than neat rows. So just clumps like that, basically, into the ground, and hopefully they'll be okay. The only thing is I'll probably step on them or something, as long as I don't weed them. Try not to step on them. Like that. There we go, I've done 3 big clumps around this, I think it's globe artichoke. And so there's one there, and one there, and I've covered them with sticks. So hopefully I don't boot them over. So the final plant out of the day are going to be some of these cosmos. Now I'm not going to put all of them out because they are absolutely rubbish in anything that's remotely frosty or cold. So I'm going to do maybe 5 or 6 of these. Just put them down here and see what they're like. I've got a few growing at home and they are outside and in shade and have had no protection and they're okay. Hence why I'm going to chance a few of these. But like I say, I'm not going to do all of them because they are useless. So let me pop them out now. So I've grown these. These are my own saved seeds. So they're all supposed to be white. You can tell they're going to be white because the colour of the stem is pale. So you know that the flowers are going to be pale. If I had a red one or a pinky one or a darky coloured one, then I'd know that they'd be pink or a darker colour. So there's a handy tip for you. They grow quite tall as well, so I've noticed. So I'm going to put them in the centre of this area so they get viewed from the outside. In my mind's eye, that looks okay, but we'll see. So I'm going to pop a cluster right in the middle of this area, I think. I'm going to use all my rubbish ones from this tray as well for this little trial and see how they get on. Yeah, so these are the weaker ones, so if they don't do anything then it's no big deal. There we go, that'll do. That is all the planting out I'm going to do for now. I've erected my tomato supports as well, which I just want to show you. So normally I use an old photography stand, but I've got these massive sticks. Let me turn you around. Massive sticks, I don't know if you can tell. So I've jabbed them in the ground and tied them up, and they're a bit wobbly, but they are kind of sturdy enough. And I've done one in the middle, and then I've put the usual photography pole across the top. And then I use washing line wire. Sorry, you can't really, it's going a bit blurry. Washing line wire, because it's dead strong. I've used your normal kind of twine stuff like this before for tomato support, but it just breaks and degrades over the season. But washing line, honestly, get yourself some, it's fantastic. You need wire cutters to cut it as well, but it's soft enough and bendable to go around the tomatoes, or the tomatoes to go around that. So what I do, let me show you back here. There we go, so you can see it better now. So what I do is tie some of the washing line cords to the top. They drape down. You put your tomatoes in the ground, but you put the cord under the ground and under the roots of the plant as well. And then as the tomato grows, you just wrap it around the cord there. That's the best way that I've ever grown tomatoes. The only thing is, if the wind blows in that direction, then I'm going to be buggered really, because all my tomatoes will blow over. But in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm going to grow some at home anyway, so if this fails, I'll still have a few tomatoes to pick at home, so that'll be good. Let me get this out and show you. So this is what I normally use on the sides, you know, for the tomatoes. So look how wide this comes out. It's just no good. It's a bit rusty, it's very old. Like, to get that stable, it has to come out that far, and that takes up so much room on the bed. I normally grow like lettuces around it and in between and stuff, But it is good because, look at this, these are good. If you're going to do tomatoes and you want to get one of these, you can get like a camera backdrop pole. So I used to do a bit of photography, so look how high that can go. So they are still kind of useful, so I'm not going to get rid. Can you see that? Let me come back here, there you go. Look how great that is. So good. Whee! So, how do you do your tomatoes? Do you do it like this? Spots are just starting to come up as well. These are the first earlies Colleen. So they're coming up. I have earthed them up, well, covered them over once with compost, but they're just poking through that next layer now. As is the bindweed. Welcome to the world, bindweed. I thought you were gone. Not to be. So I've pulled out as much as I can. I'm going to do that little pile now as well. But yeah, you can't really kill bindweed apart from just keep on top of it, so I've read. So you literally just have to pull out as much as you can. It's so satisfying when you get a big bit though. Oh God, so good. So even a tiny little piece left in the soil bloody grows back. And it's not ideal really, because it's going to be growing through my potatoes this year. So I think bindweed is going to be an absolute priority for this section. Just keep on top of it. Otherwise it's going to go rampant and I'm going to be like, ah, too much bindweed. But there's so much of it already. Ah dear. Better crack on, get some done. Jen, what do you do with the wee bindweed? I can hear you now. This lot, well, I simply put it in my bucket down here and drown the little. So yeah, I'll show you what I do. Okay, so this is my bucket of doom. There we go. Whoa, look at that. So that's where all the weeds go to die that won't die. That's where they go. So let's grab bindweed off there. Mix it around. So this is all couch grass, dandelions, bindweed, and a random potato that's got its way into there. So this just all smushes down, and when it starts stinking and smelling lovely, I strain it off and pour it back onto the ground. Right, that's it from me today. I'm just gonna tidy up my bits and bobs. I'll probably have a quick weed around, maybe give a few bits a drink. Apart from that, that's about it. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and enjoy next week's rain. Take care everyone. Bye.